Shai Gilgeous Alexander is just that dude. I'm worried about the NBA.
Shai is the best scoring guard that we have seen since MJ. Does that feel like a reach to you?
I just don't know what to say. I'm just looking and I'm like, can anybody beat them?
Shai Gilgeous Alexander is having a season that feels historic. His 2026 run might belong right next to the best guard seasons ever.
There's someone I idolize. I grew up, Michael Jordan, there's no one, but like he's statistically getting in conversations that you never thought anyone would get near when you talk about the greats of the game. So this guy's unbelievable. I mean, the numbers, but also the spirit, the way he carries himself, the way he leads their team, the culture they've set there. I mean, the whole thing is so impressive, and that's why only them and the Warriors have been 24-1.
Yes, when you look at the numbers, when you look at what he's able to do, especially with the one-on-one matchups, he's unstoppable. When he gets to his mid-range, he gets to his spots, you can't stop him. So we'll see how it ends, because he got a lot of rings to get before we start having that conversation. But statistically, as an individual basketball player right now, yes, I see it. But I want to see the overall success that MJ has had, and they're on their way.
Peak Jordan, Steph, and Magic type of greatness. The Thunder are 24-1.
OKC is on the verge of making this season that I was looking very much forward to very, very boring. They're just that dominant. It doesn't matter who they go against. They are just busting everybody's living, you know what, with no concerns whatsoever. It's so dominant in OKC, even if you had the chance, with all the assets that you had to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, why bother? You don't need them. That's how awesome they are. It's a well-oiled machine.
Completely dominating and on pace to break records for both wins and net rating.
The best in the history of the league by 4 more points than that Jordan Bulls team back in 1996. They have the best defensive rating in the past 6 years. Their defense is 7 points better than the Golden State Warriors. The gap between them and the Warriors is the same gap between the Warriors and the Charlotte Hornets in 24th. I mean, we're talking about a team that through 25 games is simply taking care of business in a way we have not seen before.
But even as the reigning MVP, Shai still isn't getting the full love he deserves.
This team is so disciplined. They're so together. They're all about winning. They love, being teammates. This is literally the perfect team. This is a coach's dream. So I don't see that changing. I don't see anybody getting in their way of breaking that record. And I think the record is theirs to have.
Everyone praises OKC's defense, which might honestly be top 5 all time.
They do what they want, when they want, and they turn it up when they want. It's like that in OKC.
But Shai's impact is every bit as crucial to why they look unstoppable. When he's on the court, the Thunder's offense explodes. 9 points better than the league average, basically championship-level production. When he sits, they fall apart offensively, dropping by nearly 17 points. With Jalen Williams missing most of the season, it's been Shai holding the entire attack together. And somehow he's better than last year's MVP version. Statistically and stylistically, he's playing like an all-time scorer. He's putting up the second highest points per possession ever by a guard, after already ranking 3rd last year. That's beyond elite. What makes Shai so special is how he gets his buckets. At 6 feet 6 inches with a 7-foot wingspan, he moves through defenses like water.
They're walking through the league like it's nothing.
Flexible, balanced, and unpredictable. His ball handling and pace changes keep defenders off balance, and once he decides to drive, it's over.
I mean, they are just unreal.
His control in the air is Jordan-like, twisting, adjusting, and finishing through contact with unreal touch. He's unstoppable in the paint. Even without counting free throws, Shai's averaging over 12 paint points per game on nearly 65% shooting. Video game numbers, and he's earning around 10 free throws a night because no one can guard him cleanly. But his scoring doesn't stop at the rim. He can pull up in the mid-range, fade, or float shots over defenders with smooth confidence. He's mastered every level of scoring, from inside finishes to short jumpers, making him a complete offensive force. Shai's putting together something rare, a season where efficiency, volume, and impact all hit historic levels. It's not just another MVP year. It's one of the greatest single seasons any guard has ever put together.
I would say the hardest player in the NBA to guard is probably Shai.
He's just always been super smart, super cerebral.
He's just always aggressive. He's always a threat out there every time you guard him.
He's fine-tuning his game in many different ways.
He's just continued to grow.
As a teammate, as a leader, he's just a warrior.
Shai is going to be so good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's control of pace is unreal. His ability to slam on the brakes, drop impossibly low, and fake a drive before effortlessly stepping back for a jumper is straight-up art. With flawless footwork and pure shot-making touch for his size, he's built to score in every possible way. And right now, he's arguably the best mid-range scorer in the entire NBA. He's top 5 in mid-range makes this season, hitting them at a ridiculous 49%. Defenses know what's coming, but it doesn't matter. Even when they pack the paint, Shai just cooks them from mid-range. No guard today combines inside scoring and mid-range efficiency the way he does. Honestly, we haven't seen this type of inside-the-arc dominance since Michael Jordan. In fact, Shai's on pace for his 3rd straight season, making at least 8 two-pointers a game on 57% shooting or better, something no other guard in NBA history has done. And this year, he's raised the bar again, hitting over 59% on twos, the best ever for a guard taking that many shots.
Shai's had a hell of a year. I remember playing against him in high school, playing against him when I was on the USA team back in high school. He's just always been super smart, super cerebral. A taller guard who knows how to use his body. He's, someone with that type of skill set is going to be able to adapt to, the NBA game quick, and he's done that. So, he's a big reason why, their team's been having success this year, so it's good to see it.
That consistency separates him from every other high-volume scorer of this era. His scoring floor is absurdly high, second only to Jordan himself. Right now, Shai's riding a 97-game streak of scoring at least 20 points, the longest ever by a guard and second only to Wilt Chamberlain in NBA history. He's on pace for 67 games this season with 30-plus points, tying 1987 MJ for the most ever by a guard, and could end up with 75 games of 25-plus, again, MJ territory.
I said it last year, watching all these games, no matter what happens, you might only remember him, maybe missing 4 shots in a row or something. And then at the end of the game, you look up and he has 30. So it's like, no matter what happens, whether, he makes it look easy, which he does a lot of nights, or whether the defense is really tough on him, you look up and, he's Shai. So it's easy to take for granted, but we don't do that. We know the type of player he is and the type of guy he is, and we're happy to have him.
That's not just great. That's historic reliability. He scored 25 or more in 21 of OKC's 24 games this season and hit 30-plus in 19 of them. His off nights, still 23 points. And with a 69.1% true shooting percentage, his efficiency is off the charts. What makes him so special is that his greatness doesn't rely on the 3-ball like most modern guards. He dominates inside the arc, where his balance, touch, and rhythm make him unstoppable. Other guards can go cold. Shai doesn't. His scoring isn't just inevitable, it's almost mechanical. The kind of consistent brilliance that puts him in a class with the legends. Take James Harden, for example, one of the best ever at creating his own 3-point looks. Even he hit rough stretches, shooting under 30% from deep in back-to-back playoff runs during his prime while firing double-digit threes every game. When your whole offense depends on high-volume threes, there's no escaping a slump like that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is built completely different. He doesn't need to rely on streaky long-range shots. His entire game is based on versatility and control inside the arc. He can draw 10 free throws a night at nearly 90%, finish 5 or 6 times a game at the rim around 70%, hit floaters or short jumpers inside the paint at 60%, and drain mid-range pull-ups at roughly 50% whenever he feels like it. That's a scoring toolbox no one else has. This mix of efficiency and diversity makes Shai dependable in every situation. Harden could go cold and take himself out of a game. Shai can't, because he always finds a high-percentage look. Every possession, every matchup, he's got a way to score that the defense can't fully take away. And when the game tightens, playoffs, crunch time, everything on the line, that reliability becomes gold. In those moments, the flashy stuff doesn't matter as much as who can still get a bucket against locked-in defenses. That's where Shai separates himself. This season, his clutch stats are mind-blowing. He's averaging 8.7 clutch points per game, almost 3 more than anyone else in the league, and doing it with close to 70% true shooting. He's on pace for the greatest clutch scoring season ever. And while his mid-range game is elite, that's only one part of his total scoring formula. Add in his dominance in the paint, his free throw consistency, and now his growing three-point confidence, and you've got a complete offensive monster. Shai's hitting over 45% from deep this season on 5 attempts per game and has been on fire lately, sinking nearly 53% of his threes over the last 15 games. Even his step-back triple, once a rare move, has become deadly. He's hitting it at over 51% this year. With that final piece added to his game, Shai's not just unstoppable inside the arc anymore. He's becoming the most complete on-ball scorer the league has ever seen.
That's what he does, especially when they have floor space the way they do and some of the offense they run. Like, everybody's kind of a threat out there, and, you know, he takes advantage of the driving angles, and when he's making tough contested twos. Part of it is kind of shots you live with, but not that many. So that's what the league is about, like, you know, scorers of his caliber, winning games for a team by hitting tough shots.
Out of the 30 players who've taken at least 50 pull-up threes this season, Shai Gilgeous Alexander ranks second in efficiency, and that's supposedly the weakest part of his scoring game. The crazy part? It's still an area he keeps improving on year after year. From pick and rolls to isolation plays, Shai is redefining what efficiency looks like. Every trip down the floor, he's methodical, composed, and deadly. By relative true shooting percentage, which measures how much more efficient a player is than the league average, Shai currently holds the second best mark ever for a 30-point-per-game guard at plus 9.4%, behind only 2016 Steph Curry. But even that number doesn't tell the full story, because Shai doesn't just score efficiently, he protects every possession like no one else. Coming into this season, Shai already owned the record for the fewest turnovers per game by a 30-point scorer at just 2.2. Now he's down to an unreal 1.8 turnovers per game. Only Shai and Michael Jordan have ever averaged 30 a night while keeping turnovers under 2.5. And they've each done it 3 times. But Shai's version of it is even crazier because he controls the ball way more than MJ ever did. He's easily the most secure ball handler of his size we've ever seen.
You know, he's a warrior. You know, he's a dog, and knowing that he couldn't, you know, even though he got hit, he couldn't let his team down. And, you know, it's great to see him, you know, come back and still, you know, doing his thing and still trying to lead us. And, you know, that's just Shai as a person and as a teammate, as a leader. You know, he's just a warrior.
Tight, controlled, and surgical with his dribble, he gets wherever he wants on the floor while keeping the ball out of harm's reach, even under heavy defensive pressure. It's not just style, it's precision. And that's the real definition of efficiency. It's not just about how many shots you make, it's about what you do with every possession. Missed shots cost you, but turnovers cost even more, especially live ball ones that turn into fast breaks the other way. Shai almost never gives teams that chance. When you combine his historic scoring efficiency with his near-zero turnover rate, the numbers make a strong case. Shai Gilgeous Alexander isn't just one of the best scorers in the league. He might be the most efficient guard to ever step on a basketball court. I'd still give 2016 Steph Curry the edge for pure offensive efficiency, but comparing him to Shai Gilgeous Alexander is tricky. Their styles couldn't be more different. Steph is the ultimate off-ball weapon, constantly moving, creating chaos, and bending defenses with gravity alone. Shai, though, carries a totally different kind of burden, a massive on-ball workload that Steph has never had to shoulder.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. Shouldn't say that because he went to UK, but he's tough. He's a good player. You know, his court vision, his poise, his teammates respect him, and at a young age, that's something that's really, really impressive. You know, that teammates respect and his work ethic and the way he plays. He's fine-tuning his game in many different ways. He's able to get to his spots. Never seems too out of control, and I think that's one thing. He can only get better, and he's tall too. So as a point guard, it definitely helps.
Steph's balanced approach between on and off ball play makes him an all-time offensive genius. But when we're talking about high-volume on-ball scoring guards, the kind who dominate every possession, Shai stands alone as the most efficient ever. Part of why Shai doesn't always get the respect he deserves as a generational offensive force is because he's not a high assist guy. He's not Luka or Harden in terms of playmaking flash. But that doesn't mean he isn't creating offense at their level. In fact, he's having the best passing season of his career while keeping the ball safer than anyone else ever has. His combination of scoring volume, scoring efficiency, and ball security makes him a one-of-one. Defenses are forced to throw everything at him, traps, doubles, collapsing walls, just to slow him down. That chaos naturally opens up clean looks for his teammates, meaning Shai can generate great offense without forcing risky passes. His assist-to-turnover ratio is elite, showing how controlled and calculated he is even under pressure. But the main thing that separates him from other top guards is how little he wastes. His self-created offense is just that efficient. When you strip things down to the simplest numbers, how much offense a player creates versus how many possessions they waste, Shai's season looks unreal. Let's compare him to the other elite on-ball scorers in recent memory: 2026 Luka, 2019 Harden, and 2023 Lillard. Those guys generate about 3 to 3.5 points of offense for every possession they come up empty on. Whether that's a missed shot or a turnover, Shai, he's generating nearly 5 points of offense for every wasted possession. He's creating just as much total offense as they are, but giving away far less. That's not just efficiency on paper, that's dominance in the purest sense. Every possession in a game is precious, and Shai maximizes almost every single one. That's why, even without gaudy assist totals, he's arguably producing the best offensive season any on-ball guard has ever put together. Now let's get into the most accurate way to measure self-created efficiency. This is where things get real. We'll take Damian Lillard out of the mix and bring in two of the greatest on-ball guards of the modern era, Kobe Bryant and Dwyane Wade. The goal is to see how much offense each star could create for themselves strictly from their own work, pick and rolls, isolations, and post-ups, and how efficient that production actually was. To make the comparison fair, we're using per 75 possession numbers to even out playing time and game pace. And since Kobe and Wade played in lower efficiency eras, we'll judge each player relative to their time, comparing their output to the average half-court possession efficiency of their respective seasons. That way, we see who really stood above their competition instead of just comparing raw stats. To smooth out small sample swings, we'll use each player's 2-year peak. Even so, Shai's numbers from just this single season still outshine everyone. And the results, they're jaw-dropping. Shai ranks 3rd in volume of self-created offense, but absolutely dominates in efficiency. When he looks to score for himself, his offense rates 14 points better than the league's average half-court possession. That's not just elite, that's historically efficient. And remember, this doesn't even factor in transition scoring, where Shai is easily the best among the group. Wade is the only one even remotely close there. But let's push it further. When we include every type of possession Shai finishes, shots, free throws, assists, and turnovers, and measure how efficient he is across the board, the pattern doesn't change. Shai once again comes out as the most efficient offensive guard among all of them. These aren't cherry-picked stats, they come from massive sample sizes that give a full picture of his impact. Every possession, every touch, every trip down the floor, Shai maximizes it. He wastes almost nothing. That's the real takeaway. If the ball is in Shai Gilgeous Alexander's hands, your team is producing elite offense, not just through his own scoring, but through everything he creates around him. When you combine that with his control, precision, and ability to stay mistake-free, it's hard to deny that Shai isn't just in the conversation with Kobe and Wade. He's quietly redefining what peak efficiency looks like for a high-usage guard in today's NBA. When you look at team impact, Shai Gilgeous Alexander's numbers are unreal. Over their 2-year peaks, he ranks just behind Kobe Bryant and Dwyane Wade in offensive on-off swing. Yet when he's on the floor, OKC posts a +9 relative offensive rating, while Kobe and Wade's team sat around +4 and +3. No star today lifts his team's offense higher than Shai. Sure, offensive rating depends on teammates, and Kobe and Wade carried weak rosters, but what Shai's doing with the Thunder is next level. Often the lone ball handler without elite shooters, he still drives OKC to elite offense. When he sits, they collapse. Even more insane, over the last 2 years, Shai has played more minutes without Jalen Williams than with him, and in those solo stretches, OKC's offense jumps to +11 relative rating. When it's just Jalen, they drop below average. Shai's own stats in those minutes are absurd. 38 points per 75 possessions on +9% relative true shooting. The more you run the offense through him, the better everything gets. He controls possessions with total command, slowing, attacking, and creating rhythm like a maestro. Combine his historic volume, elite efficiency, and team impact, plus strong defense, and it's clear, Shai isn't just carrying OKC, he's redefining what it means to lead an offense at an all-time level. Shai Gilgeous Alexander has officially climbed onto the Mount Rushmore of guard peaks, right there with Jordan, Steph, and Magic. If we had full advanced data for legends like Oscar Robertson or Jerry West, they'd be in the mix too. But even then, I'd still give Shai the edge. He's become something completely unique, an offensive titan who doesn't need elite off-ball movement or flashy passing to dominate. I usually value guards who create through constant motion or next-level vision, but Shai breaks that mold entirely. He's carved out greatness through efficiency, control, and unstoppable one-on-one scoring, rewriting what it means to be an on-ball guard in today's game. Right now, we're watching a player who walks into every arena knowing he can take over. Night after night, he's leading a top team with surgical precision, making defenses look helpless while keeping it all effortless. It's not just production, it's poetry in motion. The body control, the footwork, the shot making, Every move feels like a masterpiece. Whether or not the whole world realizes it yet, Shai is already operating at a legendary level. And the best part? He doesn't seem to care about validation. While everyone debates where he ranks among the greats, he's too busy dismantling whoever stands in front of him, one game, one possession, one masterpiece at a time. What do you think about Shai's run this season? Is he already on the Mount Rushmore of guards, or does he still have something to prove? Could he really be more efficient than Steph, Kobe, or even MJ? I really want to hear your opinion, so drop a comment below. I'm thankful for every take you share. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, share it with another Hoops fan, and make sure you're subscribed to Ball Stories for more deep dives like this. There's plenty more drama, legends, and crazy basketball stories waiting for you on the channel. Go check them out next. Catch you in the next one. Peace.